Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of X-Ray Tech, giving you an inside look at PC hardware. The subject of this video is this card, the AMD R9 290X. Launching in October of 2013, this card was AMD's high-end answer to the GTX 780 launched in May of that same year, and was a continuation of AMD's GCN architecture that still persists today. In keeping with AMD's Pacific Island naming scheme, this chip bears the codename Hawaii, and it was also the first time in a long time AMD hadn't bothered to simply recycle old chips under new names, instead developing this product entirely from scratch. Launching at $549 US, it commanded a hefty price, but was successful in beating out the GTX 780. This victory was short-lived, however, as we see it still losing to NVIDIA 780 Ti, launched in November of the same year. It is important to note, however, that the card was still the most powerful single GPU in AMD-optimized titles, for example, Dirt Showdown. This card is notable for a few features. It was the first card from AMD to do away with crossfire connectors, running instead through the motherboard alone. It featured 4GB of VRAM, which was more than the 780, at a wickedly fast 512 MB per second bus speed, which was absolutely unheard of memory bandwidth. And this card was notoriously, disgustingly, gratuitously, in-your-face hot. It was an absolutely legendary raging inferno, and even doubly so in its reference blower-cooled form. This stock cooler could handle factory settings operation, but not without simulating the sound of a jet engine, taking off packed to the gills with howler monkeys screaming bloody murder. It is, however, an excellent 1080p gaming card, and it is also now selling for somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 to $120, depending on the generosity of your seller. So what we're going to do is see if we can't resurrect some value from this card and take control of the fire that burns within it, and if we're lucky, achieve some overclocks along the way. The effect that we're going to go for is to turn our GPU into a hybrid GPU by attaching an all-in-one cooler to it. Now this product is the Arctic Accelero 2 Hybrid. I found one on eBay for $30, and I think it's going to be an excellent, easy fit. It was used for an R9 290X previously by its former owner, and I feel like this option is going to give us what this card sorely needs the most, which is silence, a quiet operating volume. I'm going to get right down to the meat and potatoes and give you a short build time-lapse so you can see some of how this thing came together. A lot of it was put together for me already when it came in the box, so there's a little bit less work than one would have to do if one had pulled it out brand new. And after that, we'll jump into some gaming benchmarks. All testing was done at 1080p using an old familiar friend from our HD 7970 video, my X58 powered workstation featuring a Xeon X5650 overclocked to 4 GHz and paired with 24 GB of G.Skill Sniper DDR4 1600 memory. I did make sure to monitor things to make sure this older 6-core 12-thread Xeon wouldn't hold us back, and I wasn't disappointed. The GPU was at 100% usage at all times during our tests. Now, without any further ado,
What the? What happened? Shit! Get out of here!
Just a quick breakdown. Overall, this was a complete and absolute success. Using this AIO cooler did bring our temperatures down. It brought them down by about 5 degrees or so. It allowed us to achieve an overclock, which saw roughly a 5 to 10% increase in the benchmarks that you saw before, and everything was silent, and I mean silent, as loud as the case fans in the PC itself, which was the main goal of this and the main reason why I would call this whole venture a success. Does this mean that the card can represent a good value for you? It could. They're selling for as low as $100. I've seen them in private sales, and then adding this $30 AIO, which I admit you're taking a chance on, but all things used are taking a chance, right? I think it's a pretty decent value. You're looking at anywhere from $130 to $150 to play high to ultra 1080p settings on modern games, and I think that's pretty good value. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please tell me what you think in the comment sections below, and feel free to like, dislike, subscribe. This has been another episode of X-Ray Tech, giving you an inside look at PC hardware.